What's up, guys? Ryan from IW Nerd here, and today we're going to be going through the best WWE women's matches of all time. These are according to the star ratings from Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. So these are kind of his ratings. I've only included matches that have been rated 4.5 stars or higher from Meltzer. There's a bunch that are rated 4.25 stars, about 30 of them. So if this video gets a lot of traction, I'll do a part two, but I wanted to focus on kind of these ones right now that have been 4.5 stars or above. And I've also included NXT matches in this. So these matches are from both the WWE main roster and from NXT, like NXT takeover events and stuff like that. So let's get into it. Okay, so up first we have the match between Sasha Banks and Bayley. This took place at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn in 2015. Sasha and Bayley faced off at TakeOver Brooklyn for the NXT Women's Championship. They ended up stealing the show in a match that lasted around 18 minutes. Bayley won the match and the title. This is one of those matches that if you ask fans their favorite women's match of all time, chances are that this one might come up just because it was one of the first really big showcases for women in WWE at least. And just to show that they can really go in the ring, Meltzer gave this match 4.5 stars out of 5. All right, so up next we have the match between Asuka and Ember Moon. This took place at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3 in 2017. So Asuka put her NXT Women's Championship and her undefeated streak on the line against Ember Moon at TakeOver Brooklyn 3. Asuka ended up winning the match via submission to retain the title. It was later revealed that Asuka would be forfeiting the title. She was subsequently called up to the WWE main roster not long after this, so this was her final kind of swan song in NXT. And as we all know, she's went on to have a great career on the WWE main roster as well. So Meltzer gave this match 4.5 stars out of 5. Okay, so up next we have the match between Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Asuka. This took place at the TLC pay-per-view in 2018. So Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Asuka faced off in the first ever women's TLC match at this pay-per-view. This was for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Ronda Rousey ended up interfering and pushed both Charlotte and Becky off the ladder. Asuka won the SmackDown Women's Championship because of that, and it set the road onto WrestleMania. So Meltzer gave this match 4.5 stars out of 5. Up next, we have the match between Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch. This took place at WrestleMania 38 in 2022. So Bianca and Becky faced off on night 1 of WrestleMania 38. This was for the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca won the match and the title after about 19 minutes. Meltzer gave this match 4.5 stars out of 5. Up next, we have the match between Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton. This took place at the NXT No Mercy pay-per-view in 2023. So Becky and Tiff faced off in the main event at the No Mercy pay-per-view in 2023. This was an Extreme Rules match for the NXT Women's Championship. Becky won the match to retain her title after about 20 minutes. Meltzer gave this match 4.5 stars out of 5. And as you can see, Becky is dominating this list so far. Up next, we had the match between Bayley and Io Sky. So at WrestleMania 40, so Bayley and Io faced off on night 2 of WrestleMania 40 in 2024. This was for the Women's Championship. Bayley won the match and title after about 14 minutes. Meltzer gave this match 4.5 stars, and as you'll see on the rest of the list, Io Sky is a mainstay of kind of the highest rated matches list, so definitely more to come from her. Up next, we have the triple threat match between Bayley, Naomi, and Tiffany Stratton. This took place at the Backlash France pay-per-view in 2024. So Bayley, Naomi, and Tiffany faced off at the Backlash France pay-per-view. This was for the Women's Championship. Bayley won the match after about 13 minutes, and Meltzer gave this match 4.5 stars out of 5. Okay, so up next we have the Elimination Chamber match. So we had Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss versus Bayley versus Liv Morgan versus Naomi versus Roxanne Perez. This was at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in 2025. So the 6 ladies that I mentioned faced off in a Elimination Chamber match in 2025. So the winner earned a match for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania 41. Bianca ended up winning this match after about 29 minutes. During this match, we also saw Jade Cargill show up and attack Naomi in what was kind of a shocking moment. Meltzer gave this match 4.5 stars out of 5. Okay, so up next we had the tag team match. So it was Io Sky and Jordan Grace versus Julia and Roxanne Perez. This was on the NXT April 29th, 2025 episode. So the main event of the April 29th, 2025 episode of NXT was Io Sky and Jordan Grace versus Julia and Roxanne Perez. Io, sorry, and Jordan won the match after about 14 minutes, and Meltzer gave the match 4.5 stars out of 5. Okay, so up next we have the match between Rhea Ripley and Asuka. This took place on the September 22nd, 2025 episode of Monday Night Raw. So Rhea and Asuka faced off on the September 22nd, 2025 episode of Raw. Rhea won the match. Asuka used the poison mist on Rhea after it was over. And then Asuka and Kairi Sane attacked Io Sky, who came out after the match. Meltzer ended up giving this match 4.5 stars out of 5. Okay, so we're moving up tiers here. So we're moving up to matches that have received 4.75 stars or above from Meltzer. So up first is the match between Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. This was at the Evolution pay-per-view in 2018. So Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch faced off in a last woman standing match at Evolution in 2018. This was for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Becky won the match after about 30 minutes to retain the title. Meltzer gave it 4.75 stars out of 5. This was the highest rated WWE Women's match for several years until 2023, which we'll find out later. Okay, so up next we have the match between Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 39. So Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair faced off on night 1 of WrestleMania 39. This was for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Rhea won the match and the title after about 23 minutes. Meltzer gave the match a 4.75 star rating. This was not the highest rated match of the event, though, as 2 matches, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos, and then Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus, both received 5 stars. So this was actually the 3rd highest rated match of WrestleMania 39. Okay, so up next we have the match between Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley from Evolution 2025. So Io Sky and Rhea Ripley faced off at the Evolution pay-per-view in 2025. This was for the Women's World Championship. So Io and Rhea put on a fantastic match, and it ended up with Naomi cashing in her Money in the Bank briefcase to turn it into a triple threat match. Naomi ended up winning the match and the championship, so that's why it's kind of Io versus Rhea with Naomi in brackets, because it's technically a triple threat match, even though it was mainly Io versus Rhea with Naomi showing up at the end. But yeah, Naomi won the title, and Meltzer gave the match a 4.75 star rating. Okay, so now we are moving up to the 5-star tier. So these matches have received 5 stars from Dave Meltzer. So we have Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 41. So Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley faced off for the Women's World Championship at night 2 of WrestleMania 41. These ladies tore down the house with an opening match that was impossible to top for the rest of the card. Io won the match after about 14 minutes to retain her title. Meltzer gave the match a 5-star rating, so this was the highest rated match of WrestleMania 41, and it was also the first women's match in WWE history to ever receive a 5-star rating from Dave Meltzer. As of recording this in late 2025, this is the only women's match that has ever received a 5-star rating from Dave Meltzer. And yeah. Okay, there you have it. So those are the best WWE women's matches according to Dave Meltzer's star ratings. Again, these are only his ratings, so some matches might be rated higher from you. That's definitely okay. I just like to use his ratings as kind of a standard in terms of like, he's probably, love him or hate him, he's probably the most well-known match rater, so it's just a good kind of baseline for some of these things. It doesn't mean his ratings are gospel. It's just an interesting discussion point. So let me know what you think is the best women's match of all time in the comment section below. Would love to hear how you rate these matches, and if you think any of them should have deserved 5 stars other than the one that did get 5 stars, let me know. I'm going to do a part 2 of this video as more matches get added to this. though definitely with how the women are humming, there's definitely going to be more 4.5, 4.75, and 5-star matches in the upcoming future here. So I'm going to do a part two with those when they just update. But then I'm also going to do potentially 4.25-star matches because, as I mentioned before, there's about 30 of them that have a 4.25 out of 5-star rating. So if your favorite match, sorry, didn't get mentioned here, it's probably there. And please subscribe to this channel. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching.